Have you ever wondered what a Pokemon starter trio for an Ohio-inspired region would look like? No, me neither, until a few days ago I saw this post. And since it's Pokemon related, I of course had to research the origin of it. And apparently it's this post right here, just a picture of a skunk, raccoon and opossum chilling on the streets of Ohio, nicknaming them the Starter Trio of Ohio. Since I like creating starter trios, I of course had to take this opportunity, take these three little friends and actually turn them into a 5-man starter trio. Let me know in the comments which one you would choose for your Pokemon journey. Also, please don't forget to subscribe, it would help me out a lot. But let's start with the raccoon. I decided to use the raccoon as inspiration for the grass starter, mainly because I had already decided on the types for the other two animals, which I don't think was the wrong choice, but apparently a very obvious one, cause like 95% of raccoon starter Fakemon are grass types. Whoops! Anyways, the other reason was that this Fakemon is also based on an Ohio-based cryptid named the Grassman, or the Native American equivalent, the Wild Ones of the Woods. Pose-wise, it's standing with its arms in the air. That's usually something more associated with red pandas, but I also saw some photos of raccoons standing on the hind legs and begging for food, so they're like stretching out their little arms. It tries to hug everyone and everything, but it's a little clumsy, so it sometimes scares smaller Pokemon. It has a little leaf mask and leaf arm spikes or grass arm spikes, I don't know what to call it, and patterns on the body that give the illusion of a bodysuit. Since it is just the first stage, there is nothing too much going on, no crazy patterns or anything. The first stage has to be relatively simple so the design can progress and get more detailed later on. Or at least that's like the consensus. Even though this Fakemon is the one where the secondary concept is the most obvious, I still think it's relatively toned down. And spoilers, it's not the burglar or thief theme, which would be another more obvious choice since raccoons are notoriously known for stealing trash, but I didn't want to go that route because it's already been done enough. The raccoon is an animal from North America, but it's also found in Europe as an invasive species, which was brought here. We also have them in Germany, where I live, but I've never seen one in real life, at least not in the wild, which I think is good because they can actually cause problems, like they like to go through trash and stuff like that. Anyways, here it is, Raccoon, the grass starter of the Ohio region. The name is a fusion of raccoon and root. It is the perfect starter for any trainer who wants to achieve great things and help others along the way. Relatively easy to handle, however they can be skittish and get too excited when in battle. Next is the fire starter, which is based on the opossum. Honestly, if you'd ask me what animal do you associate with the United States, it would probably be the opossum, mainly because I don't think there's anything similar here in Germany, so it's an animal I've only seen in like Instagram videos where people pick them up in the middle of the road. It's nothing I've seen here in Germany in the wild or any other country I've visited so far. Anyways, I chose the opossum for the fire starter because I looked up Legends of Ohio and I found the, story legend, urban legend of Helltown, which is basically about this abandoned city, Boston Mill, which got abandoned, and word got around that the cause was a chemical accident that mutated the residents, which obviously is not true, but I like the inspiration, which can be like some sort of like horror or a creepy themed starter. In this stage it's not so obvious, but it would be more obvious when it evolves. It was the first starter I drew and I'm pretty happy with it. Or Pyro, the fire starter. Its name is a fusion of opossum and pyro. When it's not in battle, it likes to climb on its trainer's back and get carried around like that. What do you think of this little guy? I hope you like him. Last but not least, the water starter, which took me the longest to design, mainly because I didn't know what to do with the pose, and I always have the most trouble with the water starter looking back. But let's start at the beginning, the type. So my first step was to just read the Wikipedia page of Ohio, and I found out that the name Ohio comes from the word Ohio, which is a word by the Seneca people, one of the 6 nations, and it means something along the lines of great river or large creek, so it's perfect for a water starter. Since Ohio was and is home to different indigenous communities, I wanted at least one starter to be inspired or mainly inspired by them. Now here's the situation. I'm not from a Native American community, I'm not American in general, and I've never been in America. I have some family in America, but like that does not really count, so my knowledge is very limited. I did research on art, folklore, weapons and clothes of different indigenous communities, and then I mixed them together, or rather I looked for similarities that could represent different groups, but I don't know if that's considered to be offensive, and I don't know anyone in real life who could give me like an insight on that. To be honest, if you just look at the design, you probably wouldn't guess it. I toned it down because I don't know how far I can go, and because it's a first stage, so it doesn't need a lot of patterns or like outstanding design traits, but I still wanted to be transparent with the design and where the inspiration came from. For art inspiration, I saw a lot of woodwork and carvings, including totem poles, but also paintings and clothes with different patterns. So I wanted to give it some markings that make it look like it was carved and then painted maybe. And for the story inspiration, there is a legend by the Hasinai people called Why the Skunk Walks Alone, which tells the story of an unsatisfied skunk who wants more modification to its body. The first stage is inspired by the original created skunk, that if it stands still at night, nobody can see it. The second stage would be inspired by the it gets great fangs and claws. At first the Great Spirit does grant it these wishes, but after some time the spirit got angry about how ungrateful the skunk was and gave it lastly a strong smell. So now all its friends stayed away from it because they couldn't stand it, which would be the inspiration for the final stage. But here it is, Skuddle, a fusion of skunk and puddle. It's the water side of this region and definitely the calmest and most easy to handle one. This trio is obviously based on this meme, but the main theme are stories. Raccoon is based on cryptids, Oppossum on urban legends, and Skuddle on a Hasinai origin story for nature. There is a secondary theme. It is the most obvious in Raccoon's design, and some hints are in the original stories of Skuddle and Oppossum, but I don't want to spoil them in case I want to make a part 2. But can you guess them? I hope you liked the 3 little guys. Please let me know which one was your favorite and which one you would pick as your starter. Also, are there any guesses on the second types? I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like if you did, subscribe to not miss any future videos, and let me know your opinions in the comments. See you in the comments.